Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I've got a lot of really great content that we've got to dive into. From Ariana Grande spending her 33rd birthday with her ex to allegedly Kevin Spacey coming back to Hollywood. Hmm. Grab your coffee cake. It's time to start your day with Jay. I don't even know where to begin this one. I'm definitely excited to get into the stories. Love Island right now is like on my mind. I guess there's only 9 episodes left. And I'm just thinking, like, where did the time go? You know? Okay, so I have a recap of Sunday night's episode and Monday night's episode, but I'm going to throw that all just at the end. And then we're going to do some stories at some point. I'm going to catch you up on my life. It's been, spoiler, kind of just like such a weird day for me, a day where I'm just reflecting a lot, but I'll save that for the end. Nonetheless, let's start with our first story. According to Elle, Ariana Grande spotted with her ex-boyfriend, Ricky Alvarez, for her birthday. A video taken of Ariana Grande and her ex-boyfriend, Ricky Alvarez, started circulating on social media. It was reportedly recorded on Friday, June 26th, the pop star's 33rd birthday, in Austin, Texas, just ahead of Grande's Eternal Sunshine tour stop in the city. By the way, I've seen some videos for that, and there's a lot of mixed feelings on people with the concert, but I actually thought it was really cool at the end how she's just like levitating up. I don't know. The sighting has started rumors of reconciliation, but a source speaking with TMZ said that Grande is celebrating her birthday by inviting friends to the city, and Alvarez was included in one of those friends and nothing else. Another source told People they've been hanging out recently. Grande and Alvarez dated for about a year beginning in 2015, so a while ago. Since then, she has publicly dated Mac Miller, Pete Davidson, and her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater, following a brief marriage to real estate developer Dalton Gomez. Slater and Grande were confirmed to have split up earlier this month. Grande and Alvarez have seemingly maintained a friendly relationship over the past decade, even though he was name-dropped in their 2018 song, Thank You Next. At the time of its release, he shared a clip of himself listening to it on Instagram, showing his reaction to the line, wrote some songs about Ricky, now I listen and laugh. I didn't think that was such a big deal, but I don't know them. Nothing but gratitude, Alvarez wrote in the post. Thank you, next. Those songs are fire, though. You're welcome. And then she responded with, ha ha ha, I'm sorry, you got the worst line. It was meant V lovingly. Wait, I did not think that was the worst line. I felt like the one about Pete was. No, I didn't push Sean, but he was in a match. Wrote some songs about Ricky, but I listen and laugh. Even almost got married. But for Pete, I'm so thankful. Wish I could say thank you for Malcolm, but he was an angel. Okay, maybe he got the worst line, but it really wasn't that bad. She wrote some songs about him, and now she thinks like, hee hee ha ha, I'm not in that phase of my life. Like, that was such a long time ago. Oh, but if they dated in 2015 and the song came out in 2018, I guess that's a little too soon. Now I feel like you could say you listen and laugh, but whatever. So her Sunshine Tour is going on. Her Eternal Sunshine Tour is going on. During her June 28th performance of the track, she shifted the line, wrote some songs about Ricky. I know he still got my back. Okay, so that definitely makes a little bit more sense for someone who was in a relationship 11 years ago with someone. Anyways, well, I guess like always, we're going to see what happens. I saw the video on TikTok, and I think like a fan just came up to her and wanted to say hi, and he was in the background, and people were like clocking that, like, oh, that's Ricky, that's her ex. Girl, I do not know. It just feels like all eyes are on her because she does have a big reputation with men. Ariana Grande's seems differently. I feel like I've talked about this on my podcast before. Like, it's just the way that she moves so quickly onto people. Yeah, I don't know. Feels like a nothing burger at the moment, but I guess we'll see. I'm trying to think why people care. Like, I kind of can't remember. Maybe because she got engaged to Pete so fast. She said she only wanted to get married once in her song, and then she got divorced to Dalton Gomez, and then she started dating her co-star who had just had a newborn and a wife. So it's like the people that she chooses, or the way that she also like moves into these relationships, doesn't feel normal. I was gonna place blame on like ever since Mac Miller died, like things have never been the same, but I am of the age of being such a Mac Miller fan. Like, I cried when he died. I still listen to his music. I've gone to see him on tour a few times. Yeah, growing up, like where I was, like me and my friends like really loved his music. I still do. But just like even in high school when he had those mixtapes, he was just known. And it's crazy because social media was so different at that time. But I was just saying, like, I love Mac Miller so much and I know a lot about his life is that he had this girlfriend when he was in high school, Naomi Leisure. At least that's what her Instagram handle was. I can't quite tell you if that was her real name, Naomi. And they were together. And then, like, it seems like all of a sudden Ariana Grande popped in and then he was like, bye, you know? And I remember vaguely Naomi saying something back in the day about it, like, ooh, like 2013, like such a long time ago. I'll have to dig that up because I might be misremembering, but I think things started around there, her reputation. Yeah. But if she's hanging out with an ex on her birthday in public, she probably wanted to be seen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she was trying to keep this a secret. We will see, though. Let's move on to our next story. It is about Miss Lizzo. So this is from USA Today. Lizzo speaks out on soul-crushing poor album sales. Yo, I didn't even know she had an album. But just to prepare for this podcast, I listened to it. Yeah. Lizzo is reacting to some truths that hurt. Her new album is a flop. During an interview with Swiftologist released June 28th, the About Damn Time singer, 38, reflected on the poor sales of her latest album, which dropped on June 5th. She said that in the weeks before the album's released, she ramped up her efforts to promote it, but the record's reception still fell short of expectations. Quote, it dropped, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't what I thought it'd be, she said. I didn't think it would be crazy, but I also didn't think it would be this. There was like 24 hours of my life where I based my success and my worth on a number, and I think that was soul crushing. I heard it only did like 2,000 copies in sales or something, which is that's crazy, right? Maybe I don't know. Lizzo's follow-up to her award-winning 2022 album Special only sold 2,649 copies in its first week. A huge decline from the 39,000 copies that Special debuted to, according to Rolling Stone. Also failed to chart on the Billboard 200, whereas Special hit number 2. The lead single from Special, About Damn Time, reached number 1 and also won a Grammy for Record of the Year. Well, the elephant in the room is that she was canceled. Her backup dancers came after her and her reputation, saying like she was really bad to work for. She faced a workplace misconduct lawsuit from her former dancers in 2023 that accused her of assault, false imprisonment, and sexual harassment. Lizzo has strongly repeatedly denied these allegations, and the civil case is ongoing. Okay, so the case is ongoing. So innocent and proven until guilty. But the public decides like that. I remember around that time, it was like the end of COVID. And then she had it was like a show about being like Lizzo's dancer or something. And I remember wanting to watch it and then it put a bad taste in my mouth because of everything that was going on. Ooh, I hate that. What I hate about it so much is that no, it's so obvious. Like she was a great artist. Like she was really fun and it felt like she spoke for body positivity and her songs were exciting and empowering. I loved her song that was in the Barbie movie. Like it was so funny and lighthearted. And so this sucks. Okay, but I listened to her new album because I didn't want to just not have an opinion of it. And it's really different. It's kind of like almost like an R&B type of style. I feel like, when Justin Bieber's Swag and Swag 2 came out, it was that same R&B type of style, almost a little folksy as well. I don't really know what you would categorize it, but this album reminded me of how Justin Bieber changed his sound and was like, deal with it. And then that was such a grower. Like people at Coachella were really feeling some of that music, like Daisies. Yeah, it was just a grower for sure. And I don't know if this is a grower, but I also think that when people are not supporting the sales, it comes back to the artist and their reputation. And that girl does not have the best reputation right now. It wasn't my favorite album. I love an album where it's like no skips, top down. Album Red by Taylor Swift. I know I'm a cliche, but I've loved that since it debuted. No skips. Absolutely no skips. A lot of Olivia Rodrigo's albums for me are absolutely no skips. Like it's her talent, her writing, her artistry, and her voice. It's so fun. Emails I Can't Send. No skips. No skips for me. Harry's House. Is that the name of the album? That was right. Or is that the tour? Harry Styles' last album. No skips at all. I like pop music. What can I say? But this one, I felt like there was only one good one for me. And I think it was the last title on the track. It was called Goodbye with like an explanation point. And I really liked that. And I think the reason I liked it is because it was a little bit more upbeat and it reminded me of her brand and her previous discographies. Maybe the rest will grow on people, but I didn't really like it. I didn't like it. Speaking of Harry Styles, sir, our next story is from TMZ. Harry Styles all choked up, beating the heat after collapsing on stage. Harry, he does so much. Harry Styles is doing just fine after briefly collapsing on stage due to a choking scare, not the extreme European heat wave TMZ has learned. Fans watching Harry at a sold-out show on Friday at Wembley Stadium were sent into panic after the singer appeared to choke and collapse mid-performance, sparking immediate concern amid ongoing heat wave across the region. Can you imagine being at that concert and it's like 100+ degrees out? Like if Harry is passing out, which it didn't seem like he was, but if he was passing out from the heat and he's up there by himself, I would literally be like, there's no hope for me because you're just like sardines, bodies packed into a stadium. Hell no, you couldn't pay me to do that. And I love that man. No. Sources close to the situation tell TMZ the scary moment had nothing to do with the weather. Instead, we're told it was a brief onstage mishap involving water during one of Styles' signature crowd interactions. I'm dead because I'm notorious for choking on water. And it's really scary. In that moment, you kind of feel like you're not going to make it. I do, like once every other month. Yeah. Harry attempted his normally perfect executed whale move when he accidentally choked on water. Oh, he does that thing where he spits up water. I've seen him do that, leading to the unexpected stumble. In the video circulated online, Styles can be seen suddenly reacting, losing balance, and falling to the stage before quickly getting back up. The watermelon sugars, I hate when they do that. Just say Harry. Harry immediately laughed off the moment and ran off stage without any sign or injury. Amazing. The stamina of that man. Would you believe it? I can't believe I'm already at our fourth story. Entertainment Weekly reports Kevin Spacey feels much more welcomed in Hollywood after outlasting sexual assault allegations. Kevin Spacey is opening up about his relationship with Hollywood. The House of Cards actor admittedly he feels less in show business jail, quote jail, than he once did while reflecting on the time that has passed since sexual misconduct allegations from over a dozen men, began to surface amid the Me Too movement in 2017. Oh, wow, it's almost been 10 years since he's been ousted. I know, as you said, you didn't really pay attention to the details, and I know most people don't, but I think when people actually start to hear the facts, understand what we've won in courts, I think people now look at this and think maybe 9 years has been enough, Spacey said on Monday's episode of Club Random with Bill Maher. Most recently, following a hail of accusations in court cases, Spacey reached a settlement with 3 sexual assault accusers in March before a civil trial in London. Okay, so he paid them a settlement. He settled out of court, right? There's some evidence of Spacey feeling, quote, welcomed back into show business world, where celebrities have spoken out in his favor. In May 2024, Liam Neeson, Sharon Stone, F. Murray Abraham, and Stephen Fry voiced their support for him in statements that they shared with The Telegraph. Months later, Brian Cox told Hollywood Reporter in December 2024 that Spacey had been punished enough. Maybe he got too out of hand, but I don't think he should be punished for it endlessly, he said. There should be a case of forgive and forget. You stop it. Let's move on. I think he should be given the opportunity to come back to work. In 2025, Spacey was the guest of honor at the Better World Funds Gala dinner during Cannes Film Festival, where he was recognized with his Lifetime Achievement Award for Excellence in Film and Television. Honey, that is not the issue. I am not saying you're not good at film and television, but like someone who assaults people, 12 allegations. Are you joking me right now? And your only track record of this didn't happen is 3 settlements? 3 settlements. You didn't go to court. You settled out of court. You kidding me right now? The audacity. Stop it. No, you stay canceled, sir. Not until I see otherwise. Oh my God, I literally just said innocent, proven guilty. Sure. Okay, well, let's do a little Google. Let's see if he has been proven guilty. Hold on. Yikes. Kevin Spacey has never been convicted of a criminal charge. Following accusations of sexual misconduct, he was acquitted of all 9 sexual offense charges in 2023 UK criminal trial and had prior US criminal charges dropped. He has also successfully defended himself in civil lawsuits. Spacey was tried on 9 I already read that. A London jury acquitted him on all counts. A federal jury found Spacey not liable in a $40 million civil lawsuit brought by Anthony Rapp, who allegedly he had been subjected to an inappropriate advance as a teenager. Prosecutors dropped charges of indecent assault and battery against Spacey for an alleged 2016 incident at Nantucket restaurant due to the unavailability of compliant witnesses. Ooh. Spacey reached an out-of-court settlement in a UK high civil court civil lawsuit with 3 men who had accused him of sexual assault between 2012 2013. The details were not disclosed. Well, okay, it sounds like he was never guilty, but the settlement is sketchy. I don't like it. 12 people. You know what? I'm allowed to not like it, and I don't like it. And that's that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. One thing I learned about doing podcasts for, what is this, my 6th? After I'm done, my voice hurts so bad. Like my throat starts to get sore. And so I have some tea and I'm really trying to hydrate during. I just get so excited that I like to just keep talking and not take any breaks when this isn't live. I can take breaks. Our last story, TMZ reports Tom Sandoval footed the bill for his ex-girlfriend and her dad for over a year. There's been a lot about Tom Sandoval on the internet, lots of videos. I saw one of him pushing his ex-girlfriend's dad in a fire. That was crazy. Like, things like that should not be on the internet. I don't know why. Tom Sandoval didn't just open his home to his ex-girlfriend, Victoria Lee Robinson. He also allegedly supported her and her dad financially for more than a year while they lived with him. But sources close to Victoria adamantly dispute this account. Sources close to Tom tell TMZ in October 2024, Tom invited Victoria and her dad, Will Robinson, along with her 4 cats, to move into his home. Like, what home? I thought he didn't pay. I thought he still owned one with Ariana Madix. We're told Will first moved into the Valley Village home Tom previously shared with ex-girlfriend Ariana Madix before the group later relocated as Tom worked to sell the property. Wow. God, Ariana is a saint. I know she wasn't living there, and I know she's out doing her own thing, but the personality of this man that she put up with, I cannot. According to our Tom sources, Victoria, Will, and the cats lived with Tom for more than a year and a half. Now it's a year and a half. Our Tom sources say he covered virtually all of the household expenses during that time because neither Victoria nor Will were working. We're also told Tom paid for 2 storage units for Victoria's furniture and other belongings. Literally, no one is worth that. That's crazy. Sources close to Tom claim Victoria's only significant financial contribution came after she received a financial settlement, which she paid a few months' rent on the new rental home while Tom worked to sell his Valley Village home. Sources close to Victoria dispute that version of events, telling TMZ Tom did not pay all of their bills. They insist Victoria spent a substantial amount of money during the relationship and is upset at how much she contributed financially. As TMZ first reported, cops responded to Tom's LA home twice over the weekend. Officers were initially called while Victoria was moving out, then returned later that evening after a dispute over retrieving more of her belongings. No arrests were made during either instance. Earlier this month, Victoria was arrested after Tom alleged that she assaulted him. Videos obtained by TMZ also showed Victoria's dad shoving Tom before he shoved him back, which appeared to cause Will to fall in a lit fire pit. That's the video I was talking about. I don't like it. Tom was later granted temporary restraining orders against both Victoria and Will, and they were ordered to leave the home. Will sought a temporary restraining order against Tom, but a judge denied the request until the matter could be addressed at a later hearing. Why is this man always in the news? Tom Sandoval, I mean, I think he's like a compulsive liar. He lies all the time. He lied during his relationship with Ariana, yada, yada, yada. I don't believe him. You know what I mean? The math is not mathing with this. Tom could not afford his half for the house that he owned with Ariana Madix. His business literally closed down. With what money were you supporting 2 other people, Tom? That's crazy. That's crazy. This whole thing seems messy, and I don't love it. I'm not sat for it. We'll see what happens, but, well, now it seems like this girl got herself in another court-related issue. I'm not saying it's her fault or anything. I'm just saying, she must be having a hard year. Well, those are all my stories. As promised, we're going to get into some Love Island. We'll start with episode 23 and then go into episode 24. Obviously, since I podcasted, there have been like 2 other episodes. We have Friday and then we have After Sun. I don't really have a lot to say other than Friday was one of the best episodes of television, like ever. Yeah, it's just been getting good. And honestly, for all those haters out there that said this was the worst season of Love Island, I was rooting for you, Love Island. I stuck through. This is the best season ever. I'm obsessed. I don't want it to end. I don't. And you know what it is? It is the casting. These people are crazy. They're absolutely crazy. Oh, I love it. Makes me feel like I can turn my brain off. I want like this constantly. We can go to different locations. We can go somewhere else other than Fiji. We can go to Alaska, but I need this. You know, I like the show Traders because I'm watching people like try to think and do strategy and stuff. Like that's just fun. Dancing with the Stars. I was a dancer, so I like understand a lot of these like terminology, and I get excited to see people grow and dance. Like it's just fun. I love dance shows, but a show like this, there is nothing going on up here. I'm just like, oh, and one of my other favorite things about Love Island is the fact that the episodes, like I never know if they're going to be 58 minutes, an hour and 26 minutes, you know? The editors just do their thing. It's almost like a YouTube video. It's crazy. Okay, so Sunday night's episode of Love Island. The episode opens with Anaya and the girls going off to talk about the recoupling ceremony. Anaya and Melanie break off. She breaks down in absolute tears because the Casa girls are laughing at her. So, to refresh you, she on Friday's episode I totally was hoping she was going to pick Carl, but she picked KC. And all of us audience members know Casey is like the worst person ever. The way that he talks about her is so rude. It's so condescending, so mean, disrespectful. Every word you can think of. He's called her a grandma. Why? Just because she won't touch him? I wouldn't touch you either. You're mean. Next, we see Bryce talk to the boys about how he feels bad for Anaya, but notes that they already had problems. Zach says it sucks because Casa was a great vibe and now the villa isn't. Parmita says it's because her and Titi aren't 21 and are older. This whole narrative about being more mature, none of y'all are mature. The only person I'm going to let a pass for like actual maturity is the one who's 30, Bryce. And it's crazy. We need this next season. Take notes, take notes. We need more of a mix from like actual 20 to 30 years old. You can even go up a little bit in 30s because I feel this in my personal life. Like the evolution and growth I've had in so many ways in my 20s is crazy. Every year of my 20s, I felt like a new person, which like you should if you're growing. I felt like the girl I was at 21 wasn't the girl at 23. It wasn't the girl at 24. You're always learning, you're always growing. And then you're meeting people that are older than you or younger than you, and you're getting to kind of compare like where they're at. And it's a frustrating thing, but it's also exciting. It's exciting to watch Bryce on my screen make sense of things like quicker and can see the bigger picture. Like, yeah, there's money at the end of this, but love, isn't that the point? Like, yeah, Bryce, it is. Can you remind the 20-year-old over there? But you know what? We all grow at our own pace, and that's why it makes it so fun because there's so many different ages. But we didn't have as many people on the older spectrum of Bryce, and that's what I want. I want more of that. So we're back at Melanie and Anaya. Melanie gives the girl talk of an absolute lifetime, my girl, assuring Anaya that there's life outside of this villa and better men than Casey. Just all the things that you need to hear in a really bad situation like this. Anaya is sobbing. Melanie tells her that this is the biggest blessing because he could do that to Titi. Anything that it's like, you're not exempt from this person's really bad behavior, by the way, which a lot of men and women feel like they can fix people, but like, you're not special, Anaya, in this situation because this is on him. He didn't do this to you because he saw something in you that triggered him or upset him. I know like people on the internet really like to make sense of this, but it's all how he feels internally. It's crazy. That man has the lowest self-confidence and he just projects it onto everyone else and self-sabotages his situations. It's so sad how internal it is. He is so sad on the inside. So it's like, TT, like this is going to happen to you. Take a look in the mirror because you're not any different either. You're not any special. There's nothing that you and I have in common or don't have in common. Like it's him. You know, Melanie said the most funny thing. You playing Build-A-Bear with that. She was like referring to how she would always have to build up Casey. I thought that was hilarious. I literally, like, when I was watching this episode, I kept popping up and being like, no, oh, it's so funny. She said also, even if we don't find love, I'm glad we found each other. I'm like, I love this friendship. This is the season of girl friendships. This is what makes the season so great for me. The girls just really supported each other in a beautiful way. I have more on that. We'll get to it later. So next, Anaya tells the camera that she's more upset with herself. So she's mad at herself, which you can totally tell in her tears. She just was so embarrassed that like maybe she chose this because like a part of her knew, and maybe that she was suppressing that part down because she wanted to have hope. It's a beautiful thing to have hope. It's just really tragic how it all played out. We see the boys at the couch. Sincere tells Corbin he got cooked. Corbin agrees and starts talking about the live stream heart rate challenge. I was so excited for them to find out that it was live streamed, by the way. Bryce asks why Kenzie would be mad because she has someone. Parmita next reintroduces herself to the girls, and they explain that their issue is not with her, but with Corbin. That was cool of them. She responds with some weird misogynistic answer. That's kind of how Parmita is. She's very like pick me, like boys will be boys. Like, stop. That's not cute, by the way. It's not cute. Quote, any man can up, act like angels, and they can still you over. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, seriously, I didn't get that one. Sincere and Melanie chat. Sincere calls Melanie out for exploring twice, asking her to explain herself. She tells him that all the guys who watched the show said he couldn't be trusted and that she could do better. And this was getting to Melanie, but not enough to not pick Sincere. Sincere tells Melanie that she is his person and that he wouldn't throw what they have away for someone for 3 days. This whole thing unfolds, and I am recording this on Tuesday, and tonight is movie night. I am so excited. Melanie is going to see all the ways that Sincere's been moving. That again, like she's not any different or special. Like the way that he talked to her was the same way that he talked to Amora, that he talked to Soul. This man is a joke. She tells him that she doesn't want to look dumb. Next, Trinity and Bryce chat in Soul Ties. They are so happy to be back together debriefing, and he lets her know how sad he was that they kissed in the photo booth. Bryce said that if they can make it through this, they can make it through anything. And I so agree. Casey and Titi go chat. Casey still doesn't think he did anything wrong. He says he's picking himself. They talk about their natural chemistry, and Titi shares that his friends say that he was the happiest they've ever seen when he was with her. Titi tells the camera that she's proud of him for holding his own, and she compared him to Romeo and Juliet. In the last episode, when they were doing the recoupling ceremony, Titi and all the girls honestly got into it. So this is kind of where this is stemming from. Casey says he liked that she stood her own, and Titi says she's gonna have his back regardless. Zach and Kata talk in the speakeasy. He tells her that he cuddled Alana. She says she's mad, but had so much to catch him up on. This is like such an uncomfortable situation for the audience because we actually don't know if the producers said, hey, Zach, like, no, it's like they would notice she's gone. Like, she got sent home. Alana got sent home. I saw a theory saying, like, maybe they gave Zach the option to go with her or something like that. Or, like, they said, Zach, like, should she leave? You know, they wouldn't do that, though. It's just like we have no idea what we didn't see. And so are they not allowed to talk about how she left, you know? But because he's not telling Kata. So the girls hear Anaya crying in Soul Ties. She like grabs her blanket and her pillow and like throws it over her head and is just bawling her eyes out. It's honestly so sad. Melanie goes in to cuddle her and check in, which was so sweet. Like she got out of the blankets too. She's got such a good heart, Melanie. Like I think she's a really good friend. They talk shit about the speech that Casey gave. Trinity and Kata chat about it, and they still seem really shocked. Zach and Bryce go talk, and they fake kiss each other. They debrief how happy they are to still be in their current couple. Zach humps Bryce, and he goes, okay, stop. I was like, I feel like this past, like, 1 week, we've been seeing a little bit of less of Bryce and Zach. Like, they were really inseparable really quickly early on, and I feel like Bryce has kind of been pulling away, but it might be the editing. You never know. We see Parmita and Corbin talk. She tells him to not do anything behind her back. Doll and Jen chat. She says she knows he wants to explore, and he sort of brushes it over by giving her a kiss. And pocket that, because in the next episode, spoiler, Gall dumps Jen. So weird. He's so weird. He's so annoying. Like, it's kind of like the same situation where Anaya's like, you can go do this, like, do whatever you want. And then they're like, no, no, like, I really like you. But it's like, you can just kind of tell the vibe, like, it's not, I'm like, not your person, you know? But just be mature enough to say that. Have we not learned anything? Kenzie says she feels emotionally drained and her and Dylan kiss. It's time for bed. Everyone's getting ready for bed. Casey tells the boys he wants to talk to Anaya, but not around her friends. So he wants to isolate her, obviously. He doesn't want to get any more crap. In the girls' room, TT and Melanie make up. Melanie says that they're good, but she needs to talk to Trinity. I think that was really cool of her. And so TT apologizes to Trini, and then they're good too. TT says Bryce and Zach were on their best behavior at Casa Amor. Melanie goes, how was Sincere? Melanie, you know. And TT says, I'll let him talk to you about that. She notes that he was like cuddling and humping the girl that he was with a lot. Everyone goes to bed, and Anaya sleeps in soul ties alone. It's so sad. She's just crying. It's the next morning. Zach makes a joke that he didn't get any sleep because he and Kata did it. Trinity tells Kenzie that she got French fries, LOL. Doll makes breakfast for Anaya, which I thought was really nice. And then when delivering TT breakfast, Casey makes a snide comment that his breakfast isn't like that fake ass omelet, referring to the omelet that Gal made Anaya. Just so many lame jabs that he's always got to do to this poor girl. I'm like so sick of it. Like, it's unnecessary. Like I said, she's always on your mind, okay? She's not chirping about you. Casey chats with Caleb about wanting to talk to Anaya. He says to go with your gut. Sincere and Zach talk with Anaya. Sincere asks if she likes Carl, and she did. She did like Carl. She just wanted to believe in her connection with Casey. Makes sense. Zach tells her that she made the right choice because she put herself out there. And I thought that was pretty mature of Zach. I agreed with that. Like, there's so many things that like we're frustrated at the TV for, but Anaya cannot see the things that Casey is saying about her behind her back. Like, I've said this before, but like at least Melanie has a clue. Melanie knows who Sincere is, but she's still choosing him. Anaya does not know that Casey's this person. He's so two-faced. Anaya tells the camera that she's happy that she was vulnerable and that she is missing Carl. Anaya says to the boys that she doesn't feel beautiful like that when she's here, and that breaks my heart. I hated that. Yeah, like a moment like that, that embarrassment and shame, I'm sure it affected every aspect of her self esteem. And I hate that. I resent this guy for that. Corbin asks the Casa boys for the tea. They tell him that Carl was sweet, but they're not sure that he was what Anaya wanted. Carl really liked Anaya. I guess they were really similar. Corbin tells the camera that she should have explored. She did. Caleb says something interesting. He says that Casey felt like he was either too goofy or too nonchalant with Anaya. The Casa Boys said that Carl was like that guy. Next, we see Zach ask Kata about Che and if she was attracted to him. And she was like, duh, he was attractive. They talk about each other's red flags. She addresses that he said, I love you in bed, but then he said it was just a joke. And that's a huge red flag. Are you kidding me? Like, how old are you? And even if you were joking, you didn't have to say that because you know it means a lot to people. Zach. Melanie and Sincere talk. He apologizes for whatever she's upset about. Melanie says he says, I'm sorry as a band-aid. I hate when people do that. Like, it's so cowardly. Like, it's because you don't want to reflect on what you did and you just go, I'm sorry. And then you make no effort or plan to change and you don't tell the other person the ways that you understand what they're saying and that you see how it hurt them. You will change, but just saying I'm sorry, just like it removes it. Totally get that. And I'm with her on that. She compares the relationship to how Bryce didn't cuddle anyone. And then Melanie starts crying. I really wish she didn't pick him, but at least we have movie night tonight. And I hope that moves something in her. You can just tell that she wants to change him. Sincere says that he's just weeding out the bad shit. That's why he's exploring so many people and being so open and so vulnerable. He's just weeding out the bad shit. Sure. Sincere tells the camera that he is exhausted. Next, Trinity goes to check on Melanie and they debrief. She compares herself to the other relationships and realizes that she is not happy. And this is kind of where Melanie's day just goes down. She's just, as she says, she's not happy. And you can see everything drained from her. Feel bad for Melanie. She tells the camera that she doesn't trust him and feels stupid. Sincere and Zach debrief, and Zach really validates his feelings and how Melanie ruined their moment of reconnecting, which is annoying. That's annoying in my opinion. Zach tells him to give her time, though. Anaya and TT go to chat. TT says, as a woman, I understand what you're going through. TT seems to really understand and say, I would have done the same. TT apologizes for how she may have made her feel, and then they hug it out. And people online think that the producers made them do that. But honestly, like, sure, maybe. But it seemed a little bit genuine. It did seem genuine. So again, the girls in this, in this season, they're great. I really like them. I think they all support each other really well. Corbin pulls Casey and Sincere to stir the pot. He says that according to the Casa boys, Anaya was kissing up on Carl every morning. And those three are like the worst combinations. I really think when those three have a scene together, they're always talking shit about people. But then when I see Caleb with them, Caleb's stirring the pot and asking all the questions that we want to know as an audience, and it cracks me up. I'm like on to him. You watch from now on, and the person that's getting all the tea and like all these sound bites, it's always Caleb. Jaden gets a text. The challenge is a boys vs. girls village challenge hosted by Meg the Stallion. Love her. The girls scream so hard. It's so cute. There's a challenge of musical chairs, and that challenge was boring. But then there was a challenge where they pie an islander. Zach pies Trinity because she gets in the way of him and Bryce. LOL. Caleb pies Parmita because she hasn't talked to him since their initial connection. Dylan pies Anaya because he misses Carl, which I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. Bryce pies Kata for Paradise Cove. That must have been like the second episode, right? That's funny though. Sincere pies Jen because she's a fly on the wall listening to gossip. Everyone was like, what are you talking about? Like, that was a little wild. All the girls kind of like were like, what? On that one. Casey pies Trinity for defending Anaya, but this one gets me because he is like, I hope I don't miss. And then he sort of misses and gets Anaya. And it's like, why do you hate her so much? Like, why are you so obsessed with hating her? It's crazy. And then also when he was talking like about pieing Trinity, his voice cracked, which was like kind of the best. Meg the Stallion calls out Casey for not moving respectfully, which I loved. Anaya claps at Casey, calling him a coward. Corbin pies Kenzie because her reaction threw him off. She calls him a piece of shit. Then he backs up and apologizes, and he said that he disrespected her. And that was the weirdest thing. Like, why did you have to pie Kenzie and then use it as a platform to apologize? I don't understand you, Corbin. I don't understand it. Meg said to the guys that some of the guys put down the girls to lift each other up, and it's unnecessary. Yeah, seriously. Jaden pies Gall for not stepping it up with Jen, which I thought was kind of funny. Kata pies Casey for Anaya. He ducks like a chump. Can't stand this guy. Take it on the chin. Jen pies Corbin because he disrespected Kenzie. Parmita pies Corbin because of Kenzie and says for him to not disrespect her too. Trinity pies Bryce just for fun. Kenzie pies Corbin because he disrespected her. TT pies Sincere because he's toxic and messes with Melanie's head. Yeah, some of these were just literally so funny. Sincere says, I tell the truth, but I don't tell the whole truth, which is where the allegations may be coming from. You don't tell the whole truth, it's not the truth, it's a lie. Come on. We learned that in like kindergarten. Melanie pies Corbin for Kenzie, but also gets Casey in there, which is great. Anaya pies Casey because of everything. And then he tries to move. He tries to move around, and then Corbin literally yells at him and goes, take it. He sucks. He doesn't take it. He's such a coward in every which way. After that, the two teams, they have a head-to-head, and Meg chooses Kenzie for the girls and Zach for the boys. Zach wins, and Meg tells them about how one boy from Casa and one girl from Casa are coming back, and we all as an audience got to vote for this. And the people I voted for, in fact, are back. So Carl pops out of a cake and Amora. And we obviously want Carl for Anaya, obviously. But Amora is here to shake stuff up because Sincere was her connection in Casa Amor. And we all know what Sincere does. He lies. So we want the truth from Amora. And we want Amora to tell Melanie what's up. That was pretty great. The episode ends. And the first look, well, do we even really need the first look? I can just get into it. We're just going to go straight into episode 24, which happened on Monday night. This was such an exhilarating episode. Ever since like last Friday, boom, 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 no misses. I've been loving it. Keep it coming. I'm excited for movie night. I think, I bought licorice for the occasion. I have dug into it a little bit, but sorry, are these called Twizzlers? Is that not licorice? The brand is Twizzlers, and then they're licorice, right? Anyways, we are making homemade pizzas, and then we have licorice and popcorn. I'm so excited. It's movie night, you guys. Okay, so episode 24, the episode opens with the girls debriefing the challenge that we just talked about. The first thing the girls asked is how the boys acted in Casa. Anaya mentions how happy she is that Carl is back. Caleb asks Carl if he is going to continue his connection with Anaya. Remember I told you, Caleb is always at the scene of the crime of these questions, asking what the people want. Thank you, Caleb. And he says yes, but he was hurt, understandably. You can see Casey nodding along. He's like, so annoying. Just keep your face still. We don't want to see you. He's just like condescendingly nodding along. The boys all say that she handled it with class and so well. Casey tells the camera that he's glad Carl is here so everyone can get off his DICK worst. He's horrible and he's selfish. And he says he hopes for the best for Anaya. No, he doesn't. Okay? Because if you really hoped for the best for her, you wouldn't be talking shade about her anytime you got a camera in front of you. Okay? Oof, I can't stand him. Zach asks Sincere what he's going to do about Amora. And the boys all joke that he needs PR training and not to cook two people breakfast because he has definitely done that before. Cecil. Amora says she was disappointed Sincere didn't bring her back. Understandable. She felt that Sincere used Casa Amor as a hall pass. Totally. So then Kata asked her about Zach. But then TT pulls Amora before she can say more. And it was very calculated. Like they needed to go get on the same page before they started spewing things to other girls. But then Kata starts to spiral. Oof. Amora and TT debrief, saying that the Sincere that they knew at the Casa is not the same Sincere at the villa. Amora does want to tell Melanie everything, and TT tells her to not go easy on Sincere and says he's the most toxic one on the show. And that really drew me in. I think that was on the first look or something. And I was like, snap, we're going to get an Amora tell-all. Spoiler, we really don't. Amora kind of like let us down. She seemed really diplomatic, which I could see. I can see why. You know, you're on a show, want to keep it cute and clean. But then if you're talking like all this up, like don't get me excited for no reason. Don't. Tell her everything. Whatever. Carl pulls Anaya for a chat. Everyone's like all giddy and excited for Anaya. Me too. I'm excited. I'm hopeful though. I'm hopeful. Anaya says it's a blessing he's back, and then she apologizes to him. And then they do a hug, and that was very nice. Casey tells Corbin that this is pressure off his back. We're back at Carl and Anaya. Anaya tells the camera that it doesn't feel great to be the second option. I'm so glad that she's self-aware with that. She also thanks America. You're welcome, girl. I got you. I got you. I wish she would say more to him, though. Like, maybe we just didn't see it all, but it just felt like such a quick, nervous conversation. I wanted more. Amora pulls Sincere to chat. He's like, 2 minutes. And she's like, no, now, girl. Amora tells Sincere that she hears he's a different person here. Melanie takes a peek to see that they're talking, and Casey goes, look at Mel. Look at her dumb ass. He says it to TT. I cannot. Why? It's not necessary to be that mean, but you know what? It's all filmed, so it is your funeral. You're the one, he is the one choosing this life for him. Why make it difficult? Don't, keep that in your head. Keep it in your head. I didn't like that TT laughed. Maybe it was a nervous laugh. I don't know. And Maura expresses that she was disappointed he didn't pick her. He says he never wanted to put her in that awkward position, and that he went back and forth on it. He tries to make it sound like really genuine. She says that he treated her like hall pass. He says he felt shitty and is better than that. He is happy that she's there and hopes that she will have a great experience at the villa. But then he calls her big dog. He dismisses the conversation and goes like, bye, big dog. Like, that was crazy. And then he tells the camera that he wants to do better and work on himself. Like, when he called her big dog, I was literally like, oh God. Like that was like the most unattractive friend zone ever. Good luck. Like, see you, big dog. Like, you could have been like, bye, G. Like, homie. Like, see you later, pal. Anything but big dog. That sucks. Like, she's probably like thinking like, does he think I'm fat? Does he think I'm like a dog? Totally. I would totally be up in my head about that one. He's kind of weird. So Jen and Gal go chat. She tells him that she thinks he's attractive, but they don't have a sexual compatibility together. Jen feels like she's a second option. They are really trying to find a middle ground for compatibility. Sincere pulls Melanie for a chat. We also see Carl say hey to Amora and offer to make her grilled cheese. It was really nice of him. Sincere tells Melanie that his connection with Amora wasn't better than what they have and that he wants to be honest with her. Feel like he's telling himself that. Just be honest. Be honest. You can do it, man. Be honest. She says she's drained. She's so drained. He says, I picked you. And she says that she wants to be respected and not picked. And she ate with that one. Melanie, you are the soundbite queen. Speaking just facts. I want to be respected. I don't want to be picked. That was lovely. I totally loved that. But her makeup does look like she's been crying a lot. So that's sad. We see Zach and Kata talk. Zach asks what Amora said, and Kata tells him what Amora said, that he wasn't as bad as Casey. And she's asking Zach for an explanation. Zach said, at the end of the day, if I wanted her, I totally would have brought her back, which we all know he couldn't because she was kicked off the show. If I totally wanted her, I would have brought her back. No, you wouldn't have because you couldn't have. So tell Kata the truth. Sincere, I mean, Zach. What is with everyone thinking that these like half truths are good enough for their moral conscience? That is so sad. Have some self respect for yourself. Know that this is all being recorded and we're all going to watch it back. Okay? Because even if this relationship doesn't work out, you're going to have relationships further down the line. Do you really want this to be a representation of yourself? Probably not. I'm just saying. Kata says, thank you. I know. Zach admits he's been a hypocrite for getting upset when he gets mad at her for kissing other guys in the challenges. I mean, social media has been saying that for weeks now, but good job, Zach. Good job. Sincere tells the boys that he was telling Amora half-truth and not the whole truth. They say to stop, and he says, I do that a lot. The Islanders get ready for bed. Caleb asks Anaya if she's done with Casey, and she gives him a huge yes. Caleb! At the scene of the crime again. I'm on to you, buddy. I'm so on to you that this is a thing. Okay. Carl asks Amora what she wants for breakfast, and I was crying a little bit on the inside because I remember him saying like he thought Amora was pretty or something, and I was like, great. Or bringing him back just so he could find a connection with an Amora. It's the next morning, and Carl makes a comment about needing to wake up because he's making 2 breakfasts. The girls get swim from Meg the Stallion. It was super cute, and Carl makes Anaya breakfast. Kenzie asks Gall to make him coffee. That was something. So she had Dylan make her breakfast, and then she goes to Gall, like, can you make me coffee? And I guess it's not too far-fetched because apparently he owns a coffee shop, which so funny. The girls at the coffee shop that he owns, like that are, managing it right now, they made this like really funny video that's going viral about like, if your name is Jen, you get a free coffee today. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That's funny. Because Gall dumps Jen. Whatever, you're going to find out in like 3 minutes. Zach and Bryce chat. He seems worried that Amora is there and is spreading things that aren't true. Bryce tells him that things feel good with Trinity. He wants to make things official with her. Zach asks Bryce if he's on the way to love, and he says, isn't that the point? Ugh. Swoon, my heart. Yes, Bryce, that is the point, okay? Could you tell the rest of them that is the point? Trinity gets a text. She and Bryce get a one-on-one date. Trinity wears one of Meg the Stallion's new like hot pink swimsuits that she was gifted. And then Bryce comes out with hot pink. And so they're both wearing hot pink. And I loved it. And they were like, are you wearing hot pink? The date starts with jet skiing and then leads to lounging on a boat. And then they just like chat about their family, their grandma, like who would like who. And it's so fun. It's refreshing. It's nice. They are such a breath of fresh air for the show. Kenzie tells Kata how she gets breakfast from Dylan and coffee from Gall. She tells Kata that she's really attracted to Gall and could see herself with him outside of here. Amora and Melanie chat. She says that they didn't do anything sexual. Amora says she's interested in Caleb because they have a good friendship. That's funny. I want Caleb to be happy. Sure. Parmita and Corbin chat. Parmita brings up Kenzie and Corbin and says he has to apologize to Kenzie. She says she's scared that he's going to play her, and Parmita says she's closed off to Corbin. He says he would love to be closed off. He tells the camera that he's scared to be played too. So I think that's interesting that they pick up on that from each other. Maybe it's just like past relationship traumas, or maybe it's something that they've said. I don't know. Bryce tells Trinity that her laugh makes him happy and that he's nervous. And then Olivia Dean music comes on, like, I make it so easy to fall in love, that one. Bryce nervously asks Trinity to be his girlfriend. And of course, she says yes. I can't remember the last time that there was a boyfriend-girlfriend situation on Love Island. It was so cute. I actually believe that this is going to work, Kenzie pulls Corbin. He apologizes and says he doesn't ever want her to feel that way. Her southern accent starts to come out when she gets like really frustrated and she's like starting to talk more. She tells him she feels played and disrespected for him putting her down. She also mentions that he wasted her time and she could have pursued Caleb more, points out that they weren't closed off and that she could have. Okay. But I get what she's saying. I do. I get what she's saying. She's saying that she trusted Corbin and that they actually had a strong connection, like the words that they were saying. So that's why she didn't. So then she blames him. Then he turned on her so quickly for Parmita. So it's like, yeah, you could take accountability in that part. Like you led her on. It is hard. He didn't know Parmita was going to exist, but like, it's such a sticky, sensitive situation. And then Corbin tells the camera that he's proud of himself for talking to Kenzie. Bryce and Trinity return and the genders all go chat and debrief. So like boys on the couch, girls on this couch. It's so cute. It's like Grease. And then they like quietly be like, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. You know, like he asked me to be his girlfriend. I asked her to be my girlfriend. And so everyone's like cheering and celebrating. It's so sweet. All the boys jump and cheer. The girls all scream. It's so cute. I'm just obsessed with that. I love it. Next, everyone gets ready for the evening and Caleb asks Corbin, Caleb, you watch. You watch. You will not be able to see. It is always Caleb. Caleb asks Corbin if he's going to explore more. That's when I realized he liked the tea. I was like, I've been seeing a lot of him asking a lot of people questions. Casey tells Carl that Anaya may be mad that he didn't talk to her initially, and Carl alludes to maybe he crossed the fine line of having things simmer to things corroding. So it's like, Dylan, if Kenzie has mentioned him at all, then he says not in 3 days. Why did you ask Dylan? So they're downstairs and Carl makes a toast and he thanks them for welcoming him into the villa. And then he also throws a little toast out there for Trinity and Bryce. And Bryce is like, that was nice, Carl. Thanks. It was so sweet. Just like these sweeties, you've got like Carl, you've got like Bryce. Like, I just love them. They're so great. Kenzie pulls Dylan. They talk about their first date and she suggests sex on the beach and he's like so smiley. Dylan asks about Gall and she says she wants to talk to him to see if they actually have a connection. And Dylan reaffirms to her, like, just so you know, like, I'm all in on you. And I think that's why she feels like if Dylan were like, I don't really care, I think that Kenzie would be worried and maybe she wouldn't pursue Gall as closely. I think so. Because he gave her that blanket and that comfort. He's like, she's doing it, you know? Gall says he feels guilty that Jen picked him and he isn't what she expected. And then he says, like, she's being aggressive. And I'm like, was she? He tells her that they aren't going to work out. And she seems confused and just like exhausted from the conversation. She should have picked Ronnie. I'm just saying. I don't know. I feel like she should have picked Ronnie. I feel like Ronnie started to really like her. And I think that he's projecting his guilt for wanting to talk to other girls, like onto her. Like he feels guilty and he's projecting it. It was really confusing for me, like their conversation. But the bottom line is I just know that he's not into her. Casey pulls Anaya, but he asks her to start talking, which was literally so weird. It's like, why did you pull me and then you were not prepared? But he didn't want to set the tone because he's a coward. Anaya explains that it was disrespectful that he had TT talk for him and then he refutes all of it. He was like, she didn't talk for me. Like, it's based off of nothing. Yes, she did. We all watched. He says, I'm trying to be calm, but it forces me to be defensive. What? Okay, doesn't make sense. She notes that he has not taken accountability and turned it so that he is a victim of Anaya. And then he refutes that. And she says, you're a coward. Because he is. Also, Anaya is so calm through this. Ooh, I loved how calm she was. Like, it was like so elegant. She won't regret that looking back, you know? The other people that have exploded, they might regret that. But her being calm and just being like confident in the conversation, it was amazing. Chef's kiss. He says, the last thing I wanted to make you feel is like shit. He only wanted to make you feel like shit, Anaya, because he's a really bad person. He says he cares about her, and she was like, no, you don't. She says she feels like she made a mistake not picking Carl, and he says he doesn't want to leave on bad terms. Anaya says she feels respected and grateful he apologized, but she don't want to be around him. He seems hurt, and they seem to understand each other more now. And then he asks for a hug, and she goes, no. Hell yeah, Anaya. No, don't hug him. That's weird. Also, everyone else is clearly watching their conversation, and it's going to give them that, like, signal that, like, things are good. And things are not good. No. We're not peace treating with the hug. No, no, no. Next, Kenzie pulls Gaul for a chat. Dylan talks to Zach about it. And Zach points out that Kenzie's never really happy. It looks that way. I'm just like not sure. I don't know. Gaul tells Kenzie about calling it off with Jen. And it feels like Dylan is the new Caleb and Gaul is the new Corbin, if you know what I mean. They do kiss. And then the episode ends. And then we learn tonight is indeed movie night. Tonight is movie night. And I've been waiting for this since the season started, probably week 1. It's crazy. Some people are like, maybe it'll be 1 or 2 days. Maybe this is going to be like an hour and 30 episode. Who knows? But I'm so excited. So that's my Love Island recap. A lot going on, but a lot of really great things going on. Bryce and Trinity, amazing. Mwah. Melanie and Anaya's friendship. Mwah. Kenzie and her options. This is a little bit of a weird week. It's 4th of July soon. And so, like, in a couple of days, I'm thinking about making hot dogs. It's funny, I was going to do hot dogs tonight, but then Grayson told me we have to do hot dogs on the 4th of July. And I was like, you're right, America. So we are now doing hot dogs then. And tonight we're doing pizza. So I probably should get the oven started and all that stuff. I should make the crusts. I'm so excited. Today's been a really weird day for me. I've just been like reflecting a lot on this year and what's been going on. Honestly, I guess the truth is I've been reflecting on like maybe like a whole 15, 12 months. So last year I got married. I got married at the end of the year. And I'm just like, I was a shell of myself. And it's funny, I'm very good at doing this, compartmentalizing, I think, where I lock in. I'm always so good at locking in. Like, you can count on me that when things are stressful and tough, I can put my head down and get through it. It's so crazy. It's a blessing and like the biggest curse ever, because then like my body, I'm also so receptive of, receptive of my body to where I know when like I'm breaking down. So for example, all last year, let me tell you, my schedule was crazy. So I would wake up at 5, take my husband to the train station, and then I would go to the gym afterwards and work out. I'd come back and shower and take my dog out and then get ready for work. I would work somewhere between like 9 to 6 because just what I was doing, you know? And so I would have meetings that would maybe go till 6 p.m. After that, I would go pick up Grayson again from the train station, come back and make dinner, eat dinner, and then wedding plan. I had no time for myself. I wasn't doing anything fun. And also, there was a lot of business travel that happened last year. So it was exhausting. I would go to bed and do it all over again and try to get at least 6 hours of sleep. And I just remember telling myself, like, you have to lock in on this. Like, and then once it ended, I was sick for like a whole month. My body was like, no, 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 you need a break. So right now I feel like I'm in this like year-long recovery mode. And it just hit me today. Today I started feeling sad. Like, wow, I'm like really not doing a lot. Cause like last year I was doing so much. We're traveling from Virginia to Illinois all the time for like things related to wedding. I'm not saying it wasn't fun. It was just hard. And so it's like I woke up today and I realized like I can't believe I did that. Like I'm not even lying to you. I can't even tell you the last time I went to the gym because I made the gym like a 5 days a week type of thing. I'm just really grateful that I've had this time this year to just like pause, do life differently and reflect because I couldn't do that. It wasn't sustainable. My husband's home now, so I'll probably wrap this up, but I am just feeling all the emotions today. I kind of woke up and was like, you're not doing enough because that's what I have been used to. But you guys, I started a podcast aside from what I normally do. Like, that's kind of a lot. I don't know. I woke up beating myself up and I'm like self-aware that it's not right. Like, I don't need to do that. It's just how I feel. Like, I cannot explain from like January to it's almost July. I've just been recovering from last year. Like, weddings are a lot on its own, but having to do it while like working full time, trying to work out, travel, like I'm like, I don't know. I just listened to my body, wasn't even really aware. And I've just been recovering this whole time. I haven't seen anyone. I've just been like living in it. And yeah, I feel like a little mixed. Like I feel like beating myself up about not doing more things. But I'm also really grateful that my body knows to just like go on this autopilot of like recovering. So it's been a day of kind of thinking about what I want my next year to look like. I'm always such a 5-year ahead thinker. I haven't thought about the next day, the next month, I've just been cruising, and I'm curious if other brides have experienced that too. There's obviously so much pressure that happens after a wedding. If you don't have kids, people tend to ask you when you're going to start having kids. People will assume things, and I try not to let it get to myself. I think maybe today it did. Just not even necessarily that, but like just expectations that I should already have for my life. But like because I've been physically and mentally recovering, I haven't been thinking about. But we're working through this literally right now, and it's totally okay that I don't know what the rest of the year looks like for me. But with that being said, it's pizza and movie night as in Love Island. So I am going to let you all go. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it. This was more of a long episode. You can find other podcast episodes of mine on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. YouTube has videos, so does Spotify. Share, like, recommend, all that stuff with your friends. I would really appreciate it. Downloading really helps, actually. I'm trying to get 100 downloads, so please download the episode. But thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye.